Good Monday Matters. My name is Mike Courtney, and this is Monday Matters. Every Monday I take a few minutes and talk about something that makes your life happier, healthier, and perhaps a little bit holier. I hope you had a wonderful Sabbath and are looking forward to a new week and all that God has in store for you. I want to start out by telling you a story. Yesterday, or Saturday rather, yesterday. I do Monday Matters on Sunday night. Act like it's Monday morning. But on Saturday was essentially the opening of college football season. It's just one of the greatest times of the year for football fans. I like college football probably better than any other kind of sport. And so is the opening of college season. Most of the time, most of the schools that I would be interested in, University of Tennessee, the Ohio State University, they play patsy kind of games. Their first games. University of Tennessee plays Chattanooga. The Ohio State University played the Akron Zippers. That usually that's what happens. In your first game, you just play a game. Doris was watching with me. She said, "Why would these schools play like Ohio State and University of Tennessee?" I said, "Well, because they make so much money going there and getting their block knocked off that they can pay for all of their athletic department for the rest of the year." So that's what happened most. But every once in a while, there are a few games, that first game of the year, that are against contenders, against teams. One of those games was the University of Georgia against Clemson. Georgia has perennially been, if you know college football, one of the best, if not the best, football team in the nation for the last at least 4 or 5 years, and in the top for the last 20 years. Clemson had kind of had a run where they were the national champions, and they were one of the best teams in the nation, and they may very well be again. They're not quite where they are now, but where they were, they aren't now where they were. Anyway, here's the story. That was a long setup to tell this story. A friend of mine, and I don't want to offend him anyway, so I hope this isn't offensive to my friend, but a friend of mine who is a smart guy. He's smart, and he's a smart football guy. He played football. He knows far more about college football than I will ever know, and just a smart guy, good guy, level-headed, good thinker. But a couple of days before the Georgia-Clemson game, he posted this long post on Facebook about why Clemson was going to beat the University of Georgia. And I want you to know, I'm pretty sure when he wrote that, he thought he was right. I think he really believed what he was saying. He made some good arguments, and I think he really thought that was going to happen. And to be honest, by the time I got finished reading what he wrote, I kind of thought it might happen too. Well, if you paid attention, it didn't happen. Clemson got killed. It was embarrassing. Georgia just drubbed them. But that got me thinking about bias, particularly this time of the year as we're in this election cycle. It got me thinking about the fact that we address things with a natural bias that's very difficult for us to see. But because this is what I think, this is where my emotions are, this is what my experiences in the past have told me, then I accept something as fact and perhaps even share it with someone else as fact, when actually what it is a product of my bias. It gets us in big trouble this time of the year as we're reading Facebook posts and as we are just going off the rails against this candidate or that candidate or whatever it is. If you're buying this car is better than that car, this vacation spot's better than that vacation spot. We've got these, we know this is the fact. And really what's going on is that there is some natural innate bias in us, in all of us, that makes it difficult for us to really see the truth. So, I jotted down 4 things to help me to overcome my bias. These 4 things, and maybe they'll be helpful to you. First of all, acknowledge that there is a bias in all of us. No matter how level-headed you are, or how fair-minded you think you are, or how objective you think you are, there is bias. There is a natural bias. People in the South are just nicer than people in the North. People in the New England states, they are far less spiritual than people in. Some of those things aren't true. That's just our bias. I kind of think that's the way it is. I remember as a young associate pastor having moved to Ohio, and a college kid saying to me, well, it's a known fact that people who speak with a Southern accent are less intelligent than people who don't. Well, I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but it doesn't seem like it's true to me. Bias. Acknowledge that there is bias. Whatever candidate you support, whatever pickup truck you think is the best, whatever church you like to go to, that's okay. But just acknowledge that there is a natural bias in all of us. So here's the second thing. As best you can, do your due diligence. Study. Try to understand the facts. Try to learn as much as you can. Now here's the difficult time in our day and age. There's bias in what we study. The news reports, I think, are biased. And again, because that's human nature, we can't escape from that. But recognize that and try to study, try to learn before you are too quick to relay a fact or to hit like on Facebook or to picket against the person that drives a Ford pickup truck. Before you're too quick to do that, learn the facts. Try to spend some time really understanding what's going on and addressing your bias. So recognize there's a bias in all of us. Do your due diligence. Try to understand as best you can. Here's number 3. Because of that, speak with grace. Speak with grace. Use words like, I think, it seems to me, it feels like, maybe. Use that instead of hard and fast, chiseled in stone, this is the way it is. Be graceful in your speech. Paul talks about that, to be graceful in the way that we talk. I understand how you would feel that way. Because of my background, here's how I feel about that. Can we have a conversation about that? Just seek to be graceful, recognizing that there's bias in everything that we say or believe. And so be graceful. And then here's the 4th thing. So let me say them again. Acknowledge there is bias. Do due diligence. Speak with grace. Here's the 4th thing. Always defer to Jesus. Always defer to Jesus. It seems to me like this. It seems to me this. But you know what? What would Jesus do in this situation? How would Jesus respond here? And by the way, understand that even your understanding of that has bias in it. But as best I can, I'm going to turn to the Word of God, and I'm going to respond. I'm going to act. I'm going to talk the way Jesus would talk. I don't know who Jesus would vote for in this electoral cycle, but I tell you this, he wouldn't be blasting and lambasting the people who disagree with him. So turn the conversation always to Jesus. There's bias. There's just natural bias. Here's a proverb. Proverb 21, verse 2. A person may think their own ways are right, but the Lord weighs the heart. There's bias. You think you know. You think you know your football team's going to beat the other football team, but there's probably some bias in that. Just respond with grace the way Jesus would have. I hope this helps. This is a particular time where we who call ourselves Christ followers, we need to be good examples, and I'm trying to share some things that would help us to do that. Well, have a blessed day. I'm excited about you for this week. I'll post some things each day about this, and I look forward to talking to you next week on Monday Matters. If you like this, if you hit like or subscribe or something, I don't know. I have no idea what that means, but it seems like I'm supposed to say that. Have a great day.